everybody, I am Kenya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I just want to talk about a couple of things that I've noticed in the rental space that I'm in. Now, there have been a lot of, I wouldn't call them scams, but things that renters have been doing that can be considered scams that landlords are basically onto. Now, a couple months ago I was watching a YouTube video and a young lady was basically showing this beautiful Atlanta apartment that she got, this luxury apartment. She didn't have a job, she didn't know how she was going to pay rent, and how she got the apartment is she basically had her homeboy write her an offer letter and she submitted it to the leasing office, and that's how she got the apartment. Now, I'm sure people have been doing this for years, but since the World Wide Web, the internet, and social media, a lot of you guys are just so loud about all the things that you do that you shouldn't be doing, and it's raising a lot of eyebrows and, you know, changing the game a little bit and possibly making it harder for people to rent apartments, especially people who really do have offer letters and now they are hit with a brick wall because basically people committing that's fraud basically. So she's telling, you know, everybody in her YouTube video, this girl had a lot of views too, how she got this apartment, and I'm just watching like, girl, that's fraud. That's fraud. You ain't supposed to do that. But anywho, I digress. I understand that sometimes you have to get at how you live and you have to do what you have to do to get what you need to be, and I feel like sometimes that the criteria to rent some apartments is very strict. It's almost impossible, and it sorts of, how do I want to say this in a politically correct way, it eliminates a certain geographic demographic group of people, if you get my drift or whatever. But that is considered fraud. And I had a client, let me tell you how landlords are hip to this. A client come to me with her offer letter and no pay stubs, and the landlord said, okay, I will consider this application. However, she has to pay the security deposit and her first month's rent to move in. However, in addition, she must pay an additional 2 months rent on top of that money. Now, if after 4 weeks she can provide me with her pay stubs from her new job, say for instance she moved in January, so she pays her first month's rent, and obviously she had to pay the 2 additional months rent. So if she can give me her 4 pay stubs proving her money, then February and March she doesn't have to worry about paying her rent because she already paid it up front. However, if she cannot provide proof that she has pay stubs, those 2 additional months rent will be moved to the end of her lease, so for November and December. So she will be responsible for paying her rent February and March. That's how he nipped that in the bud. So don't think these landlords are not onto these things, because they are. Also, landlord references. So giving a prospective landlord your homeboy or homegirl's phone number, basically saying that that was your landlord, so that when that landlord calls for a reference, that your friend could just be like, yes, I know Pam, she was a great tenant, she cleaned up behind herself, kept the property immaculate, paid her rent on time. I worked with this one investor. He was some type of damn investigator. His skip tracing skills was on point. It is public record who owns which properties, okay? And if you give a name and that investor looks it up and sees a whole different name, he's just gonna deny you right then and there, because that's what a lot of people mess up. They don't think that a landlord would research that far, but some people do. And I had a lady do that. She gave me a landlord reference, and the investor was like, hey, that person doesn't own a house, the house belongs to such and such. Oops. And so when I asked her about it, she was like, yes, hunty, busted. At least put the landlord's name and just tell your homeboy or your homegirl, like when they call asking for this person, you know. So yeah. Also, CPN numbers. Landlords are onto it, okay? They are on to it. But all I'm trying to say is, people who want to scam and fraud the system is making it worse and making the criteria and the requirements for renting apartments much harder than they should be. that's all I wanted to say about that, because I get questions quite often about renting apartments. A lot of people like to reach out to me to ask me about renting apartments and asking me about different scenarios. So I just figured let me just share it with you guys while I was in the mood to do so. Just let you know that yes, these landlords are on to you. They on to you, okay? All right. So if you have any other questions about renting apartments, I do have a playlist for renters. Check it out. And yes, I hope this video was informative, and I hope my videos in general are informative. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, a like, you know what I'm saying? And yes, come on back, because I'll be making more videos on these topics. So I will see you guys in my next YouTube video. Toodles.